भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. It's a great privilege to speak from Prabhupada's house here, from Vrindavan. I feel extremely grateful for the authorities for allowing the programs again in the library section of Prabhupada's house. This actually gives a very good atmosphere for discussion and also for reading Prabhupada books here. Prabhupada is seen, Prabhupada is felt in the books. Today we are going to discuss text number 2 of chapter 7. I will read the text, you all can repeat after me. Jnanam teham savijnanamidam vakshyamyavasheshataha yagnatva neha bhuyonyat jnatavyam avashishyate. Word-to-word meaning and translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jnanam, phenomenal knowledge. Te, unto you. Aham, I. Sa, with. Vijnanam, numinous knowledge. Idam, this. Vakshyami, shall explain. Asheshataha, in full. Yat, which. Gnatva, knowing. Na, not. Iha, in this world. Bhuyaha, further. Anyat, anything more. Gnatavyam, knowable. Avashishyate, remains. I shall now declare unto you in this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Very nicely worded, very nicely translated by Srila Prabhupada. You all can kindly read. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Purport. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spiritual world behind it, and the source of both of them. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. This is transcendental knowledge. The Lord wants to explain the above mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. In the beginning of 4th chapter, this explanation was given by the Lord, and it is again confirmed here. complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in disciplic succession, directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes, and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known. Nothing remains unknown. The Vedas, Mandukya Upanishad 1.3 say, Kasmin yu bhagavo vignate sarvam idam vignatam bhavati. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavansya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, this verse is of very great significance because Krishna here, he says, now I am going to declare the knowledge unto you. I am going to tell you the great knowledge. After knowing this knowledge, there is nothing which will be unknown to you. Everything will be known to you. There is nothing which will remain unknown. If we see the knowledge Krishna is imparting, it is really we will come to know about Krishna in this chapter 7, who is the cause for all causes. Krishna explains in detail up to text number 30, giving the greatest knowledge. Krishna starts from the next text, which we will be discussing tomorrow. Out of many thousand among the men, one will endeavor for the perfection. It is not that anybody can get the perfection. Krishna makes it very clear. Out of thousands of people, one will try for perfection, and out of such people who have obtained perfection, one, very rarely one, hardly one will know me in truth. Why? Because Krishna is the cause for everything. And Krishna further gives the knowledge, this earth, water, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego, they are the Krishna's material energies. These 8 constitute as my separated material energy. And beyond this, besides this, Krishna explains there is another superior of Krishna, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material energy. And Krishna explains in 7.7, there is nothing superior to me. There is no truth which is superior to me. Everything rests upon me just like the pearls are strung on a thread. If we see a pearl necklace, the whole pearls will depend on the thread. So Krishna says, everything is dependent on me. This knowledge, actually, if we don't understand about Krishna, then whatever our endeavors, they are of no use. Then Krishna gives the explanation and knowledge that everything is actually from me. I am everything. Just like in the 7.8, Krishna says, I am the taste of water, light of the sun, light of the moon, the syllable Om. I am the sound in the ether and ability in the man. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vibhajitamo matta partaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Then rasoham apsu kaunteya. Then punyo gandha prativyancha. I am the original fragrance of the earth. I am the heat in the fire. Now this heat in the fire, the research is going on for decades, centuries together. What is this heat? How heat is propagated? And what is the equation for the heat? How to solve it? There is nothing which is actually found the exact way the heat is actually propagated. Whether it is in the waveform, if it is in the waveform, how it is actually giving. And Krishna says, I am the life of all the lives, and I am the penances of all the aesthetics. And Krishna explains, O Partha, I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence, intelligent and prowess of all powerful men. Then Krishna says, I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am the sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles. Like this Krishna explains, and in 7.14 Krishna gives the most important thing. There are 3 modes of material nature. Material nature has these 3 modes, goodness, passion and ignorance. And because these are deluding the jivas, the living entities, and hence they can't understand Krishna. But the person who actually surrenders, they can very easily overcome these 3 modes of material action, and they can very easily cross beyond this. This is 7.14, most important. Devi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyeya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarandite. This maya which you are experiencing, this is my own maya. It is working under me directly. Don't take it very easy. With my knowledge I can win over the maya. With my own efforts to control the senses I can do it. No. Krishna rules it out. Krishna says, only by surrendering onto me. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Mameva ye prapadyante. If you are not prapadyante, if you have not surrendered to me, you do anything. You can't win over these three modes of material nature, because that Maya is working directly under me. This knowledge, actually, as we understand, we should try to utilize it practically. And Krishna says this, Gnana, Vijnana. Gnana is the knowledge, Vijnana is the practical application of it. The science of practical application and the knowledge. Krishna is giving all of them, which we have to understand from him. And then Krishna explains 4 types of people who are always against Krishna and they can never surrender on to Krishna. And there are 4 types of pious people who always can surrender on to Krishna. Then among them, Krishna says the person who is having the knowledge and who is surrendering on to him is the most important, and who he is the most dear to Krishna. So, as we see this, the important, very great knowledge about Krishna is imparted by Krishna himself. Because Arjuna is very dear to him, he is giving this knowledge. You just imagine you are the grandfather and your granddaughter comes from some other place and asks, "Oh grandfather, just tell me about you." Then you start explaining, "I have a house in my village which is having 8 rooms, and there is a well which is of very sweet water." You explain all that, and this I have inherited from my father, and you can have a small, you see a small temple here. This temple has Krishna, and there is a beautiful mukut for Krishna which is made of diamond. Now you explain in a very dear way to your dear people. There is no proud or anything like that. I have this, I am. No. You are in a very humble, because unless you tell the grandson, the granddaughter doesn't understand. Oh, it is like that. Oh, then I should visit the village. I should visit your house. Shall we go to that? Now the interest is created. So Krishna is explaining all this so that we get the interest to go back to our home, which is Golok Vrindavan. The modern science, the so-called science, has got so many fields. If you take botany, there are so many hundreds of branches. If you take maths, there are hundreds of branches. If you take engineering, there are hundreds and hundreds of branches. And in each branch, research is going on. And every year, so many people are given PhD degrees, having discovered, having done some research and came out with some great new idea, great new thing which he had discovered. Every year, so many. As per the recent statistics in America, in USA, the number of doctorates, how many people have obtained PhD? Can anyone imagine? It is nearly 2% of the population, 1.77%. 1.77% of the population are having the PhD degrees. And still the research is going on. Still the things are, many doubts are there. Simple thing, how the blood is regenerated, how the new blood cells are actually getting generated in the body. Some people give some explanation, it is coming from the bone marrow, and from the bone marrow, how the new blood cells are coming. And there are no answer. For human being, one species out of 84 lakh, we are unable to find all the answers. If somebody wants to know the phenomena in frog or bacteria or a dog or a donkey or a giraffe or a tiger, we don't know how long, how many centuries together it will take. And there will be still some questions still remain. Whereas what Krishna is saying is, after knowing this, you will not have any doubts. Now you see the difference between the material science and the science being imparted by, the knowledge being imparted by Krishna. Why? Why? Because whatever Krishna is giving, that knowledge is perfect. Whereas this material knowledge is imperfect. Imperfect because the man has got the imperfect senses. The defects are there, the 4 types of defects. So, whatever he perceives, whatever he gets through these 4 defects, that will be defective only. When you analyze, say, the temperature of a person with a defective thermometer, whatever you get, the results you get from the thermometer are defective. But if you have a perfect thermometer, if you are doing it perfectly, then the results are perfect. So Krishna says, you take this knowledge, you understand this knowledge, then without any doubt, you will not have any more to know. Everyone should try to understand in their own field, there are hundreds and thousands of doubts which are unanswered. Whereas Krishna says, this is the knowledge I am giving you. After you know this, there will be nothing more to know. There is no doubt. No doubts are there in your understanding. So the thing is, Krishna's perfect knowledge, when we try to analyze and understand, we also try to become perfect. If we try to understand other theories which are given by the defective people with their own imaginations and speculations, our understanding will be defective. That's why we have to take Krishna as it is, as presented by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita as it is. If we try to understand what is Gnana and Vijnana, these 2 terms Prabhupada explained in many talks, morning talks, or in the room discussion, all that. Prabhupada makes it absolutely clear. Gnana is the knowledge, and Vijnana is the practical application of the knowledge. Gnana is the theory, Vijnana is the practical. So, Krishna says here, I am giving you both knowledge and the practical application part of it. If somebody doesn't know the practical application, if he only knows the knowledge, what is the use? It is like a person, he knows about this swimming. He writes how to swim in deep water, how to swim in the high waves, how to swim in the sea, how to swim in the ocean, how to swim in the stream, how to swim in the river, how to swim against the stream and all that. But this fellow doesn't know how to swim. What is the use? He doesn't know the practical application and he gives the theory. This is what actually our mentality is. We human beings, we give, we speak as if we are having a great knowledge, but Krishna says, no. That will give that will lead to many more doubts. And those doubts, while clearing, will give many more doubts. That is never ending. Whereas if we approach through the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, all these, our spiritual literatures, our knowledge will become pure and our thinking process will become perfect. And this one small story which Prabhupada also tells many times, there was one scholar traveling in the boat and the boatman. The scholar asked the boatman, "Oh, do you know about the stars, astronomy? Do you know anything about that?" The boatman says, "Sir, I don't know. I don't know about that." "Oh, you are 25% of your life is wasted." Then, after some time, he says, "Do you know geology, about the science of these rocks and the earth and all that?" "Huh? What is that? I don't know anything about that." "Oh, your life 50% is wasted." And there was a big storm. There was a storm, and the boatman was anxiously looking here and there, and he asked that scholar, "Sir, do you know swimming? Do you know swimming? Now the storm is so high, we can't do anything. This boat is going to sink, and I have to jump and swim. If you know swimming, you swim." He says, "I'm sorry, I don't know swimming." "I'm sorry, your 100% life is wasted." The thing is, he talks about high things, the practical thing he doesn't know. So, if we follow any other interpretation other than as it is given by Prabhupada, it will be like this, following a blind person who wants the people to follow him, he will show the destination. Never possible, yes. So, Krishna, while explaining this, analyzes about the attainment of Krishna. How a person can attain him. Two things. First, Krishna talks about himself, about Krishna, who is the cause of all causes. And then Krishna gives the direction how he can be attained, how he can be reached, how we can go back to Krishna. So, if we follow this, then we will be very clear. Attaining Krishna is most important than even attaining the knowledge. Because if one gets Krishna, automatically Krishna will give the knowledge. It is as simple as that. Duryodhana and Arjuna, before the Mahabharata war, they approach Krishna. First Duryodhana goes to Krishna, and Krishna is resting. Krishna is just sleeping, closed his eyes, is resting. So Duryodhana comes and sees, oh, Krishna is resting, and then he comes and sits at the head side. Krishna is lying and he is sleeping, he sits. Now Arjuna comes and he also observes that Krishna is taking rest. So he humbly stands at the feet of Krishna. Now, both of them have come for taking the favor of Krishna in the Mahabharata war. So, now, after some time Krishna opens his eyes, naturally his eyes are on Arjuna. And then Arjuna greets and tells, oh, you have come. I understand. Then he explains, I have come here for begging your favor. And he says, okay. Then he looks, this fellow is there, Duryodhana. Then, oh, you also come. Actually, I came much before Arjuna. Oh, I see. And you didn't see me. You are talking to Arjuna only. I actually came before. Yeah. But where are you sitting? What is your humbleness? You are sitting here. And he says, Krishna says, now I have seen Arjuna first. So the first chance is given to Arjuna. And also you see, Arjuna is younger to you. So you should also accommodate this. So Arjuna, you ask me. Duryodhana was in anxious moments. Arey, Krishna has got such a huge army, and we don't know, this Arjuna may take away all that. Then what is remaining for me? Krishna adds, I understand the purpose of you both. You see, I have a huge army anyhow. And I have I myself. If you want to take me, I will come. My army will not be there. I don't do any other work than as the driver, as the Sarathi. I don't kill anybody, I don't fight. And on the other side, I have this huge army. You choose, Arjuna. This fellow is actually now, what Arjuna will take? Arjuna says, Krishna, I want you. You kindly, if you are there, what else I require? Krishna says, good, okay. Then Duryodhana says, immediately he says, I want your army, I want your army. And in his mind he was thinking that this Arjuna is such a great fool. One person he is taking and I am taking such a huge army. Who will win? I am definitely going to win. He is a big fool. He doesn't understand Krishna. That's why his behavior is like that. If we attain Krishna, then everything is achieved automatically. There was one king who announces to his poor people, you all, every time you come inside my fort, in my palace, you enter sometimes and you feel, I should also own this, I should also get this. So many valuable things are there and you always dream about it, I understand. Now, tomorrow morning, I am going to open the gates of my palace, my fort. And I am going to keep all the valuable things there. Valuable necklace, valuable sofas, valuable chairs, valuable, all the things. Lot of gold coins, everything, whatever you wanted to possess. One thing, every one of you come inside, you are welcome. Whatever you touch, that will be yours. Touch once, get that home. Okay? The king announces to all the people. Everyone is ready. Whole night some fellow did not sleep, he was in the queue. I should go first and take this, take that, take that. One fellow wanted a nice chair studded with diamonds. I should go and take that one. I feel I am the king. One fellow says, I want to get the golden bangles. Another fellow says, I want to get the necklace. Another fellow says, I want to take that almirah, such a wooden, teak wood almirah with so much of gold handles and all that fittings. Everyone is in queue and everyone, the moment the gates are open, people ran inside. And king was sitting in one place and watching. One young girl, one young lady asked the army person, where is the king? I am unable to see. Oh, so many people are coming and seeing king is there that side. Okay, if you want to take anything, you go inside this. If you want to take bangles, all bangles, this room. If you want to take ornaments, all ornaments, this room. If you want to take some other thing, go further. No, I want to go to the king. I want to go to the king. I want to talk to him. They said, okay, king is this side, this direction you go. Then, after asking so many times, ultimately he could find the king. Oh, king is there. She runs fast to the king. And, king, is it true that whatever we touch will be owned by us? If I touch anything, it will be owned by me? He said, yes. Whatever is there in this palace, in this fort, if you are touching once, you can take home. It becomes yours. Oh, I see. Kindly repeat. What repeating? Everyone knows. I have told you. No, I am unable to believe. Please tell again. Whatever is there in this building, in this fort, if you are touching, it will be yours. Then she goes and touches the king. saying, now I am touching you. Oh, what is that you are doing? What is that you are doing? All people are going after the gold, money and all other things, and you are touching me. Just now you remember what you have said. Now you are mine. King says, you are the most intelligent person. So king marries that girl and she becomes a queen. And as a queen, she has got so much. Now, here he comes and touches one golden chair and takes home one chair. But as the king has got so much, she has got much more. This is intelligence. Instead of asking Krishna for material things and all that, better you get Krishna, attain Krishna. We should go back to Krishna Loka and get rid of our difficulties, our problems, our grief, our sufferings. We have this greatest suffering of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Taking birth, dying, and in between we have the old age, we have the diseases, which give us so much of suffering. Once for all, if we attain Krishna, if we go back to Him, then all, once for all, everything is gone and we don't have any sort of rebirth again. So, if we follow the path, the Gnana and Vijnana given by Krishna, we will be able to achieve this. Otherwise, not. Whatever efforts we make, whatever efforts with our knowledge, we do it, it is of no use unless we perform the devotional service which Krishna reiterated many places. That it is the only way, devotional service is the only way, surrendering on to me is the only way to come out of this material bondages. Otherwise, one bondage after the other, hundreds and thousands of bondages, hundreds and thousands of desires. One desire is fulfilled, that desire leads to hundreds of desires. You buy a car, one desire is fulfilled, but to keep the car a nice garage. And for getting a nice garage, a bigger building. For getting a bigger building, bigger plot. For getting bigger plot, bigger money. For bigger money and bigger engineer, all the things. And then for maintaining it. And if somebody causes some damage, then that's all. One by one, hundreds of things. Hundreds of desires with one desire. There is no end to this. This is the material world. Whereas, if we attain one desire, attain Krishna, then all will automatically follow, because all these are temporary, whereas attaining Krishna is permanent. So, we should become totally attached to Krishna and desire for attaining Krishna by following the practical knowledge imparted by Krishna, that is, always remembering Krishna and never forgetting Krishna. How to attain Krishna? Krishna has explained in chapter 12, 12.8 to 12.12. 12.8, Krishna says, just fix your mind on me. Just fix your mind on me and use all your intelligence for me. That's all. You will attain. 12.8. Mayyeva mana adatva mai buddhim niveshaya. Nivashishyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshayaha. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. Without a doubt, you will definitely come back to me. We have to just fix the mind always on Krishna. That's why Prabhupada has made a simple quotation. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Anywhere, any activity. Krishna explains further, 12.9, if that is not possible, my dear Arjuna, If you can't fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. The process of Bhakti Yoga, which we are doing it, always doing the Sankirtana and chanting and trying to remember, so that we always remember Krishna. Then we get the desire to go back home. If that is also not possible, Krishna says in 12:10, Abhyasepya samartosi matkarma paramo bhava madaddamapi karmani kurvan siddhin avapyasi. If you can't practice the regulation of Bhakti Yoga, then try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Working for Krishna. Any activity is for Krishna. Then he will come to the perfect stage. If that is also not possible, abhyase adaitadapya shaktosti kartum adyogamasritaha sarva karma phalatyagam tatakkure yatatman. If that is also not possible, that is, if you are unable to work in the consciousness of Krishna, then try to act by giving up the results of the work and try to be self-sufficient. Results, giving up the result, not attaching to the result and giving up the results. If that is also not possible, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Then Krishna says, if that is not possible, if that is also not, then you start cultivation of knowledge. But better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action, by which renunciation can the person will get the peace of mind. So in 12.8 to 12.12, Krishna has explained. The first one is just fix the mind on me. Use your intelligence for me. Then you will attain me without any doubt. Without any doubt. Krishna says, without doubt you will attain me. If that is not possible, do this so that you will fix it, your mind. All these things are leading to fixing the mind on Krishna. So attaining Krishna is the goal of our life, and that is possible through the knowledge which Krishna himself has given. The gnana, the knowledge, and the practical application of that knowledge are explained by Krishna himself, which we have to follow. With these things, I think I stop here. We are having 5 minutes. Questions we discuss, comments we can discuss. So now it is your turn to speak, comment and questions. Yes, Prabhu. I think we have. You can come over here and speak. We don't have mic also. Nice. Yeah, you can speak loudly. I will keep it this side. Yes, Prabhu. You can speak. Mataji. Can give some comments at least. Kishori, you ask question. No questions? Mataji? Oh, surprising. Otherwise we discuss with... You want to ask question, but you are not asking. Okay.
Once you get Krishna, then everything is back.
Yeah, Mataji. Please don't hesitate. We are just discussing.
I'm very neophyte, so please forgive me.
No, there is nothing like that.
This question comes to me often, so
Yeah, good. You should ask. Here, this Bhagavad Gita class is meant for discussion. So, from the heart, any question, yeah, kindly.
from the heart. So I wanted to ask you, like, we have fallen into the material world, and we are suffering every day, Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, Adi Atmi.
Yes.
Already. That's hard enough for us as souls in this body. Then over and above that, we have to suffer our past karmas.
Correct.
So now, why? why is this, this surrounding not enough for us to teach us a lesson?
Yeah.
That we have to now suffer past karmas and we are creating future karmas.
Correct. You have so much of knowledge and you say you are neophyte, and this is surprising. Adi, Daivik, Adi, Bhautik and Adhyatmik Klesha, the miseries, everyone will have to suffer. And with our acts, these sufferings will keep on increasing unless we take action for stopping them. Now the thing is, why these sufferings? The first question is, why we have this suffering? We are suffering because Maya gives the lesson. This is what the material desires means. You are going to end up with klesha, the misery only. And why we got those desires, material desires? Because we wanted to enjoy forgetting Krishna. The moment we want to enjoy forgetting Krishna, Maya is ready to catch. This fellow has forgotten Krishna and he wants to enjoy on his own. Come here, this side, I am here to help you. Forget Krishna. And he says, you are forgetting? Okay, I teach you the lesson. Maya's work is only one. Give him Adi Daivik, Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik misery, klesha. With that, the person who thinks that he is the controller, then suddenly he realizes, I am unable to control, I am not the controller. A person called Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was a very great fighter about 2 decades back, 2 or 3 decades back. Whoever comes to fight with him, he will just punch him in 1 or 2, 3, 4 rounds. That's all gone. Such a strong man. I am the greatest black strong man. Everyone says you are the greatest. Yes. And he ruled in that wrestling for quite some time, about a decade. And after some time, he was unable to hold a spoon. Parkinson's disease. He can't hold a spoon. Leave wrestling and all. One small 5-year-old child can give a small knock, that fellow is out. His body is out of control, stability is gone. Then the press people, they approached him. Once you said, I am the greatest. Now what do you say? I was the greatest fool on the earth. I didn't know the strength of the God. I am the fool. So, though we understand all that, but still we want to enjoy. Krishna gives the answer. Arjuna asks the same question. Knowingly, atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichinnapi vashneya baladiva niyojitaka. Krishna, a person, he doesn't want to do any sinful activity. He is unwilling to do. But it looks some force is catching him and make him to do the unwilling things. What is this? Krishna smiles and says, this is nothing but his own Kama Yesha Sri Bhagavan Vacha 3:36-37. Kama Yesha Krodha Yesha Rajo Guna Samanvita Mahashanno Mahapapna Vidyena Miha Vairinam. So, this is your own lust and anger. Kama Yesha Krodha Yesha Rajo Guna Samadvita, which is arising from the Rajo Guna, passion, and making you to do the sinful activity. It is your own lust and anger. Krishna explained, that is the person's lust and anger. It is not that some fellow, his ghost is catching or some sin is catching and making him to do. I didn't want to lie, I didn't want to cheat, I didn't want to do that, but somehow I don't know, I am doing it. It is nothing but your own lust which is taking in that form and doing it. Come out of the lust. Trividam narakaschedam dwaram nashanam atmanaha kama krodhas tadha lobhas tasmat etat trayam tejet. In the chapter 16, Krishna says, these are the three. Lust, anger and greed. L-A-G makes the person lag. Lag, L, lust, A, anger, G, greed. He will be lagged. He is, the person with these three will always lag. He cannot move forward. He cannot progress. Anything else, Mataji? Prabhupada gives very nice explanation everywhere, and you know so much. Any other questions? Okay, if you don't have any other questions, His Divine Grace Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita Mahapuran ki jai.